Hey there, so what's on the easel this evening? We've got a large painting this time. It's 1 meter 50 high by 2 meters wide. So a good sized wall is needed. And it's called Path to the Convention. And again, I was attracted to this scene because of the rhythm of the line of figures that I've created there. And I also particularly like people walking up or down steps. It adds a rhythmic idea to a painting, which repetitive pattern with the shadow and the steps as well. And it also acts as a counterbalance, as does the wall, to the rather wild, sweeping curves of light which are flashing through the trees up to the top left, and to a lesser extent to the right. And I'm sure this colour is dulled down in the video, but there are some very bright areas of colour set against muted darks. None of it's black. Muted darks, and so there's a high tonal range and subtle areas of colour as well. So pinpricks of red, almost central to the painting, just slightly to the right of it. You can see some of that being picked up in the arm here, and brighter pieces of green up in the foliage here, blue down in the shoe, etc., etc. But from a distance, as we step back, none of this stands out in a particularly alarming way, as does the texture and the dragging of the paint and the colour and the splatter and so on. And so here we see a fairly thick, as is over here down at the bottom right, a fairly thick accumulation of paint as the paint shifts around the canvas and I let it fall. It creates some weights and balances, and then more delicate splattered areas here, and slightly more subtle draggings of the brush as the paint is semi-dry, all suggesting motion, as if the light, particularly the light, is sweeping through this scene. One can also maybe think that there's been a what do you call it? A rafale de vent, a gust of wind that's just blown through the trees there, or and it's obviously summer because of the clothing that people are wearing and the hats that we see protecting people from the sun. And again, going back to the motion of the figures, and also the way that the colour is working through them. The differences in the blues to this pale sort of greyish kind of blue, through to a darker, more violet type of blue. And then of course the ochres and yellows which are picked up through the painting, leading the eye out, up all the way up into the top. And as the figures go further to the right, the more abstracted they become. And one of the things that's interesting is just how much a small suggestion of something can hint at a figure. So it could be a movement of a foot, or a dash of red which suggests either the back or the front of the head. And it's despite the movement, for me it's a calm, very peaceful painting, something maybe not nostalgic, but going back to a prior time. And of course that's again suggested from the the clothing, which is probably early 1960s, 1950s inspired clothing in the main. So, path to the convention. Hope you enjoy the painting. Have a great day. Bye.